All right. Somebody let me know if you can hear me. Ooh. If this doesn't work, I'm going to say forget all this. Can you hear me yet? Yay! What happened to the other live is user error. Okay, so I don't know what happened to the other one. I've had a week. Like if I can't even explain to you this week. It's a disaster. So I'm not shocked it's not working. That's why I didn't even panic. I'm like, oh, this has been my week. Welcome. Welcome to my chaos. How is everyone? Am I echoing? So I'm using my computer. This is my first time ever using my computer. So that's another thing. And then I tried to test try it, and I thought I had test tried it effectively. Apparently, I did not. So, yeah. And they're like, somewhere, okay, I'm watching the combine. I'm still here. Thank you. Awesome. Well, I'm happy that thanks for experiencing my I don't know what the hell that was. But honestly, my week went exactly how that just went. Everything I started, I don't think I finished anything this week. So my checklist for this week is still the same. It's been one of those weeks for me. I don't know why. How's everybody else doing? Thank you all for following me over here. And I always tell people, like, and on the PC, it's a little bit, yeah, I think once I get the hang of it, it will be fine. I just don't know what I'm doing. I just, exactly. Rooted in substance, and I don't know what I'm doing. See, like, I had to use that title because I always say that in my life to my friends. I'm like, is this conversation rooted in substance, or is this conversation not rooted in substance? And it's like kind of our joke. So I love it. And I might just start using it. I usually say that I'm a hot mess in my lives. So hot mess rooted in substance, it's similar. Don't feel bad. I was sick the last 2 days. Just try feeling better today. Yeah, I've been a mess since get the likes up again. Ow. Exactly. I've been a mess since I don't know. It's just been one of those weeks. I don't even know what happened. I don't know. I'm really good time managing. I'm really good with the checklist, all the things. Not this week. Nope. This week was not my week. Anybody else have a bad week? I wouldn't say it was a bad week because it could always be worse, but yeah. My other Gemini is out this week too. So I've been really short and really direct. So that's not always, yeah. I always tell my parents, I'm like, you guys didn't prepare me for this. Like, you guys didn't tell me the truth. You lied. You basically lied to me. And then the temperature in here is weird. So like I have a blanket, like I'm a grandma. Um, so that's been fun. Just a mess. I'm just a mess. How's everybody else's week? Looks like Smiley's last week was like that. Coach Dre says, "Don't feel bad. He was sick the last 2 days. Just started feeling better." I feel like that as sickness is coming back around. It's been like that a lot here. There's been a lot of people getting sick. Hey, Coach Kev. Blanket on deck. Like this is my what? Okay, this is appropriate. This is my Steelers blanket. Oh, upside down Steelers blanket. You got the hint. Hello. So yeah, I got my blanket on deck. Also, this shirt is super comfortable for me. It is ripping. So my favorite shirt that I always wear because it's stretchy and comfortable is ripping. So there's that. So I'm just having a great time this week. So if you're having a bad week, come and join me. Let's be friends. Yeah, I'm just having a week. And then this isn't really a good complaint, but I'm just going to complain about it. I'm losing weight. And so my clothes, I'm in this um weird size. My body is changing, and so like my favorite things no longer fit. And so I'm also dealing with like, does this even fit? No. Okay, sweater and a hoodie. So it's just a mess. It is just a mess. Looks like no Justin Fields for Steelers. Listen, did news just break? Why are you saying that? What's happening? What happened? Why are you saying that, Coach Jay? Oh, nothing's up. No, I mean, listen, so I plant-based is fine. I don't mind it. I think the problem is when I want a steak. I figured out a really good soup I can make that is vegan, that has like chickpeas, um, and green beans and like all these healthy things are in it. And it's really good and I love it. And then I can eat like bananas and I can drink a smoothie. So like there's ways around not eating meat. But there's some days where I'm just like, I want the grease. I'm craving like the grease. So it's going okay. And I am better at it today than I have been. Now, the hardest part, if I could just like stop eating candy, that would be amazing. Anything sweet, actually. But Pepsi's, I can't quit them. I'm in an unhealthy relationship with Pepsi right now. It just is what it is. No news broke. No news just broke. Just people saying the Falcons. So here's the thing, Coach Dre. You know that the Falcons are also my sleeper team. So if he goes to the Steelers or the Falcons, I'm still winning. Because if my prediction is right about the Falcons, you better believe I will be talking mad crap about how smart I am. So I want him, obviously I want him to be a Steeler, but if he goes to the Falcons and we lose him to the Falcons, that makes my case a little bit. Green beans, don't tell. Oh God, I don't even know what happened with the green beans, so I don't know. But Stretch commented on one of my videos that he has a bone to pick with me, so maybe he'll show up and pick his bone. Who knows? Who knows? But I like green beans. No, I think I was there for that conversation. I think I actually said, but I like green beans whenever he was going off about whatever he was going off about. I don't even know. But you know how these people are. Oh, somebody did send me an email and asked me about, they asked me something about Texas. Um, they asked me about Texas running back room. Okay. I'm in my other Gemini is out. So everything I preface by saying today, just remember I said at the beginning of this, my other Gemini is out. So I do want to say, please forgive me, but I mean everything that I say. If you have looked at the University of Texas at all and your takeaway from the University of Texas football team is that their running back room isn't good, I'm not even going to spend my time answering any questions that you have asked me because that is the dumbest take I've heard in a while about our team. So I'm going to let you make it today. I won't say any names, but please go check out the Texas running back room because that isn't our weak point. So anyways, tell us what you think about the teams in the Big 12 and what CU should look forward to. So the Big 12 is the toughest. Well, I don't want to say the toughest. I'll say probably the most unstable and consistent conference, which is a bad thing for a lot of reasons. So historically, the Big 12 is all over the place. I say this all the time. Teams lose to teams they're supposed to beat, and teams win against teams they're not supposed to. The other thing historically is that I think the Big 12, the longevity of their coaches, you don't really see it in other places. And so the things about the Big 12 is they have really consistent teams and they have longevity together. And so you will have people that have been with the program since they were freshmen. And so they're now freshmen and this is their third year, they're juniors, they're still at the same program, they still have the same coaches, they still have the same mentality. And so you can't measure that. So, and that's why, like, when people start talking about like statistics and this and that, like, I think that that's great. And I think that's a part of it. But statistics doesn't always tell the full story. And so the full story about the Big 12 is the stability and that the teams aren't going to beat themselves and that the teams do what they need to do to win. So they might not like jump out on the sheet and be like, "Oh my gosh, they're so good at the run," or "Oh my gosh, they're so good at passing." Like they're just teams that just win games doing what they have to do. So that consistency is what worries me about CU. And that consistency is what I want, is what I haven't seen from CU that I'm hoping to see. But CU is also learning how to be consistent, whereas the other teams in the Big 12 have been together longer. They're not learning how to be consistent anymore. They're now, it's like a different problem. So that is my thing about the Big 12. I think it's going to be tough, and nothing that happens will surprise me. So, because it's like that every year. How about Mr. Wilson to play quarterback? Yeah, if we get Russ at a veterans minimum, like he said he would take, absolutely, 100%, take him now. Like let's make that happen today. Actually, they got a good core. Who do they have a good core? Who are we talking about has a good core? Facts is my Garrett. Yeah, seriously, like out of all things that you're going to say about the University of Texas, I obviously just made a video about it. So if you haven't watched the video, go watch the video so you can see my prediction. But of all the things you're going to say about the University of Texas, you cannot say their running back room needs to be looked at. Like that's not it. Try something else. That's just not, it's not even worth my effort to try to explain to you why that's not even a good take. Big 12 teams, you have to beat them. Correct. They're going to be sound. They're going to be sound. And I think that is why I think Texas was able to go into Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama, is because they didn't make any mistakes. And they physically can compete. Obviously now they're in the SEC and all of that, but like they physically could compete with the SEC. And then they did make mistakes. They forced Alabama to make mistakes. They could match them probably talent for talent. Style of football, we could argue about that. It's not worth my time, but whatever. But that is why Texas is, I think, well suited to go to the SEC. But I also think that same Texas team also struggled in the Big 12. And that's my thing, is if it's like, I always tell people two sides of the argument can't be true. Like on one end, you can't say, yeah, but Texas is gone. Yeah, but Texas is gone. Yeah, but Texas is gone. And then in the same thing, not realize that Texas also struggled with these teams that are still in the Big 12 that CU is going to play. So it's like, if you're going to use the argument that Texas is gone, that Alabama or that Oklahoma is gone, we also have to say, and those two teams struggled with these teams that are still left in the Big 12. So that's my thing, where it's like, let's like just breathe for a second, take a breath, and look at what we got going on. I really like what I'm seeing from all the teams in the Big 12. Yeah, all the teams in the Big 12 are solid. Like I said, nothing is going to be stellar. I don't think you're going to have certain teams that have certain players that pop off the screen, but no one's going to be stellar. It's just going to be consistent. And in my opinion, consistent football is dangerous because you have to go in there and win. Like, you have to go beat them. They're not going to beat themselves. I'm learning a lot watching them come. Yeah, if it's your first time watching, you'll learn how they evaluate talent. You'll also learn how you should be looking at talent. So now that you're watching these top athletes, Smiley, you can now take everything you're seeing there and apply it to what you're seeing at CU or a Kansas State team or Texas Tech team. Like, that's how you learn how to evaluate talent, is look at those pros and then compare. Hit the like button, please, and thank you. Xavier, I've been doing my own homework in the Big 12 teams this season. This is going to be exciting. That's been the thing I've been saying the whole time. Is going to be interesting and it's going to be exciting. And, like, we'll see. One thing is for sure, in my opinion, Texas has a better OC than we do. That Bama connection with Coach. Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, I think I think Steve Sarkisian might be one of the best offensive coaches in college football right now. Um, just the way that he draws up plays, the way that he schemes them. I mean, I don't think. I mean, obviously, there's other people. Let's just say top three, top five, because once you say number one, then everybody has to throw in their person. Um, but yeah, no, I knew who you were talking about. Yeah, I mean, and can we just say that like this is, I guess this is always my thing. I always don't like comparing, and I'm a fan of Colorado and I'm a fan of Texas. I hate comparing those two teams because it's not the same. And because it's not the same, it's not a bad thing that Texas and CU aren't the same. They're just not, it's different right now. Texas went from 5-7 to 8-4 to 11-1. Like I feel like I understand where Colorado is at because I've been there with Texas, and it just is what it is. It's fine. Everything's fine. Yeah, I remember when I used to get so excited and like watch these things all weekend, and I would just watch the guys run and watch them jump and watch them like do the drills where like laying down and pushing up and like going side to side and stuff like that. Like I used to be so fascinated. It was also what helped me better look at athletes in college, because now I'm like, oh, is this what the top of the top is able to do? Like, does my team have anybody that could do that? Like that's when I actually realized Texas was terrible. I think it was like a few years ago. I was like, oh, this is what it takes to be in the NFL. Like, no wonder Texas like can't compete. We look terrible. And the NFL Network, yeah. Can't wait to see everyone at the spring game. And yes, you will be there. You know what's funny? Lately, I've been like, I feel like I might need to go to North Dakota State, because can you carry signs into the stadium? I might have signs. Run the ball. Manage the clock better. Like I might be in the stands that like has a sign for every occasion. Like I feel like I might need to be in the audience game one, like wheeling them to win and being like, don't forget to run the ball. Oh my God. No, I gotta be there. I might need to like be all up in their business. Ask away, Smiley. Ask whatever you want. Just yell at if I yell at the TV, they can't hear. Like I feel, here's the thing, Alpha, if we're going to lose, I want to be there yelling and screaming, and I want to leave and not have a voice. And I want to be like, I tried. They didn't run the ball. They didn't do what they were supposed to do, but I tried. I tried because I was yelling at them. But yeah, we'll see. I'm saying that now, but like, and I also feel like, well, it's the first game of the season. I don't know if the tickets will be cheaper for that, but I also like don't know if I want to deal with all the festivities in the spring game. It just seems like a lot for me. I don't know if I'm a fan of that. What's your question, Smiley? I am ready to answer maybe. Oh, my phone's gone off. So when they do their interviews with different teams, those are the teams who are watching their drill. So yes and no. Oh no, you're gonna do that for 12 games? No, 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 no. I'm not going to 12 games. I'm saying the very first game of the season, because if the first game of the season goes south, then I know what it's going to be. If I'm there for the first game of the season, I can figure out where we're headed. That's my thing. So when they do the interviews with different teams, those are the teams who are watching the drills to pick them. Um, yes and no. So the thing about the NFL that I tell people, and other people might have different opinions, is they're actually watching everything that you do. I think that some of the teams that have interest in you, they are a little bit more aggressive. And so yes, those are the people that like, they're interested. That is exactly what that means, is they're interested. However, that doesn't necessarily mean those are the only places he could potentially go. So it's like the answer to that is like yes, and no. Yeah. So because the truth is everybody's watching everything, and this is being recorded by 97 different angles. Every team has their own team doctor there. Every team has their own recording crew there so they can see certain things. There's also people like spread throughout. So there's people that are like listening to what these athletes are talking about. They're seeing who gets more water. They're seeing who's breathing heavier than other people. Like it's like a whole thing. It's like I was going to liken it to something that was kind of disrespectful, but they're watching their every single move. It's an all day tryout from the second they see you until the second they can't see you. It's an all day tryout. The other thing is too that they're not going to tell you is how many measurements are being taken on these athletes. They measure them. They have to like strip down, spread their arms, see how far their reach is. They measure their hand size. Like it's a very, very, some players would say dramatic experience, but or traumatic, but it's a very like in-depth experience of what they do with these athletes when they're going for the combine. Almost got kicked out of CU Nebraska game for yelling at coach. That's funny. Hey, Law. Exactly. Smiley, like going there. Okay, I'm just going to say what I was going to say. It's almost like getting cows ready for the slaughter. And where they go in, that is such a Texas phrase, where they go in and they measure everything. They measure everything on these players and they make sure they check everything. And every team has a doctor. Every team is checking for different things. And so it's very, 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 very invasive and detailed. So that's why I said, like, yes, part of the interviewing is part of it, but they're also watching other measurables. They're all using that emoji. Exactly. Strip down and spread. Exactly. I used to laugh and joke before I realized that could like be a little dehumanizing. I'm like, maybe I should be a part of the measuring and stretching, but yeah, it's kind of. I saw draft board and CU is the only Pac-12 team without a predicted draft pick, as well as all the teams they played. Yeah, no, I mean I think that's fair. They're 4-8. They're 4-8. Like I think that's accurate. I mean they 4-8. That equates to that. So thoughts on Kansas City getting the OC from Baylor? I think it will be good if Kansas City uses him properly. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. Let's play now. What are y'all playing? What game are y'all playing? No, Kansas, oh hell. Not Kansas City. You're talking about the University of Kansas, right? Getting the guy from Baylor, Jeff Grimes. Yeah. So same. Like I have yeah. I'm not going there. It's an interesting here. Okay, I'm going to tell you why. There's a lot of things and coaches and different teams and scenarios that I don't talk about because I might have a connection to that person somewhere or another. Like our close friends of mine might be close friends with somebody, and so I try to like back off of certain things because a lot of times I can know too much about like that person or their players or the things that they're experiencing or the things that they're frustrated with. And I never want to break somebody else's news and I never want to break somebody else's business. So I just try to stay away from giving an opinion because sometimes my opinion comes off because I know what's happening on the back end. So that's why sometimes I'm kind of dodgy of like, oh, if I could tell you more, I would, but like go research this. Like, go find out. You'll find out what I see. Who's your first team All Big 12 quarterback this year? I mean, opinion. No. You don't have to apologize. It just is what it is. I mean, I think Shador should be the All Big 12 quarterback. I think the quarterback from Kansas, what is it, Jalen Daniels? That came out way too easy. I think the quarterback from Kansas has potential to be. I respectfully, there's a lot going on outside the window right now. I respectfully don't know what I think about Cam Rising, so I'll just kind of leave him where he's at until he's got to prove it to me. So exactly, my opinion is very rooted in substance. So the thing, like, if you know anything about me, or if you've ever heard, as a toss-up hire, if you've ever I'm naturally a pretty private person. I don't really like detail too many things about my personal life. I had to learn at a very in a very interesting way that sometimes when you have an opinion on certain things, especially when it's like friends of yours or people you can like reach out to and connect with, or people that reach back out to you, you know more than you realize you know. So that's why I've made a practice into kind of shutting up and minding my own business. That's also why when other people don't shut up and mind their own business, I have a problem with that, because I don't like it. I don't like it. It's also why I don't play fantasy football. So a lot of people have asked me, like, do you play fantasy football? Do you play fantasy football? And I'm like, no, because there's some teams that I would know that a guy is out before you would know a guy is out. So it's like, I can't play fantasy football because Sanders, but the Kansas and Utah. Exactly. Yeah. That's what I said too. You can tell you know more than you talk about. Yeah, like, I do. My biggest problem is that's just how it is. And I always tell people I live by a code. Like, I am going to shut up. I don't have to say anything. How about Kansas State, Arizona, and Baylor's new QB? So Baylor's new QB, I think he was the guy that played at Tulane. I can't remember. So, like, we'll see. My thing is like, so again, when we talked, like how I talked about stability at the beginning of this, if I look at that list that says, how about Kansas State, Arizona, and Baylor, the only quarterback that's going to have consistency and has had one game at least under his belt with his current coach is going to be Kansas City's quarterback. Although he's a freshman, although he's young, he has at least one game of experience with his team. So they know what he can do and his expectations. I do have friends on that Kansas State coaching staff too, so I will shut up about that. My two teams I'm curious about are Ole Miss and Kansas. Yeah. So Kansas will be interesting. If Kansas just paid their coach. Kansas has a decent football team. I don't want to say they're good, but I know they have a good football team. I also think Ole Miss has a great coach, and we all know he did well in the transfer portal. So they have an opportunity. Kansas State. Sorry, I don't even like Kansas City. Kansas State, K-State. Wildcats. Purple team. You plan this year? I need insider trading. Absolutely not. Toledo. There it goes. Yeah. Big salute. Hey, Bishop. I'm not talking about Oklahoma today, okay? Kansas State. Okay, I will say Kansas State. Kansas State. You already know, got the bets locked. You're trying to leg them up. Yeah. It's all so, and the other thing is too, is yeah. It's interesting whenever you're talking about, like, because certain running backs, I'm like, the guard's out this week. And people are like, what? How do you know the guard's out this week? I'm like, oh shit. I don't know the guard's out. He might play. Like, I'm not going to say anything about Norman, Oklahoma. You're good. If anyone wants easy little change, Oh, yeah, that's true. I do believe that you should bet the over on CU record for sure. Because what is it still 5.5? I do think, oof, 5.5. That means they would have to win 6 games. I do think they should win 6 games. I think if it dropped to 4.5, go get that now. If that line dropped to 4.5, go bet on that now for sure. This man said, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I heard that. My favorite's in the chat too. The fact that I said Kansas City, oh, you know what? Let me check my phone. Okay, no. I think it's funny I kept saying Kansas City. That's so funny. For a lot of reasons, but whatever. I will say, Smiley, if you're still in here, I do like this chat better on my computer versus my phone. It's bigger. On my phone, I felt like I was like leaning into it. And I forgot my glasses. Oh, well. They're going to win more. I think I would be willing to bet that they do win more than 5 games. I agree with that. I do think they should win more than 5. And I think if that line is dropping, oh my, if it's at 4.5, you have to go get it. I like how I'm telling everybody else, yeah, go do that. Go get that 4.5. I don't even know how to bet. My betting consists of when I go. So the funny thing is I've only bet on 3 things my entire life. Every year, at some point I'll go to Vegas or somebody will go to Vegas and they will bet on the Steelers winning the AFC North. I bet it every year, whatever. And then when Kobe played, I used to bet like Laker games. But other than that, and I bet Texas to beat USC in the national championship game in 2005. Those are the only 3 things I've ever placed a bet on. So, I will. There was one time I was going to bet against AJ boxing, but I couldn't figure out how to do it, so I didn't bet. What do you see you keep building? Can you translate that for me? What do you see you keep building? Thoughts on Cincinnati? I like the picks they got in the portal. I just don't know if it's enough. I honestly don't have any thoughts about Cincinnati. I don't have any thoughts about them. So the way that there's some teams that I think that you have to kind of see what they have and kind of see how they play. I feel like they're like, I always, so I call them like a week 4 team. What I mean by that is like my week 4 teams are like the teams that like I have no idea what to think, and I'm going to wait to see how they look in week 4. It's just because I just don't know. I don't know anything about them. I don't know what to think, and I'm not going to give you an opinion on something if I don't have an opinion. So I don't know what to think about Cincinnati. Me either, but I'm about to learn. Well, if it's 4.5, you have to learn. Yeah, I mean, I told you it was gonna. Yeah, it's easier for me to see. If I had my glasses on, it would be fire. What do you think CU needs player-wise to build a championship mindset team? That's an interesting question. So I'm going. So when Texas, I'm going to speak on that experience because that's the experience that I have and that I'm really close to. When Texas hired Sark, we had a lot of doubt about like what he was doing, who he is, or whatever. And so it was like year 1, I felt like he was like he was vetting talent. And I think Coach Prime did the same thing this year. I think you're kind of vetting like what you have and what you're trying to create, and you're looking at what you're doing. I think that one of the things I saw Sark do that I think is helpful is we had our best recruiting class when we went 8-4. And what he did was his team they transitioned from being like a coach-led team, and they had leaders, and the leaders kind of started taking over the team. And I think any successful team, the players start to take over that team. That is when you can see that transition of this team needed the coaches, and now the coaches are there, and that's a plus, but these guys are going to hold this team accountable. This Texas team last year that we watched lose one game, I don't remember seeing a lot of videos where the coaches were talking about accountability, and the coaches were talking about, we have to practice harder, we have to show up, that wasn't what was being said. It was the players that were coming out and saying, we're going to have a good week of practice. And if you're not performing in practice, you have to get out of our practice. So I think if you're asking me what Colorado needs to do to change, I think leaders need to come up, not just loud leaders. Like, leaders need to step up. When the coach is talking, at some point, a good team, this is what will happen. The coach will come in and the coach will be talking whatever, and a player can come and take over and say, hey, we got to get this together. Like, we need to be better. We need to want better. That is when you'll kind of see the change of the guard, in my opinion. Because if you go, again, I don't watch like all the videos and stuff that a lot of people watch, but if you go on like Texas Twitter, a lot of things that are happening, yes, the coaches are there, but it's player led. Like, just last week, the players stayed after practice and like ran their own like running and sprinting drills. Like, no coaching staff was there. Nobody was there. It was the players that decided they were all staying and they were going to work. So anyways, like, for me, I think what happens is the players start to take over the team. And that is what I think that's their next transition, is the players are starting to speak for the coaches. I'm like gone off on a tangent and venting, but I'm just popping in to say, hey, Gordon. Oh, thank you. You're so nice. Thank you. I've had a terrible week. Thanks for calling me gorgeous. Lord help me. Start change the courage. Again, right. And I think I played volleyball. So my experience from playing volleyball, it's the same with volleyball. Like, once your coach can leave the gym and the drill doesn't stop, people don't cheat when they're working out, people don't like skirt the line, and like, you still have, if the coach is gone and the expectation doesn't change, you're on the right track. Because it's important. Like, I remember the first time I realized, because we went to like nationals, like the first time I realized that I was on a good volleyball team was our coach left the gym, and our goal, we had to like get 100 serves in, and like, it doesn't matter. Nobody in here probably understands volleyball terminology, so I won't bore you. But there was this drill, and it was the hardest drill we ever had to do. And you had to like start down on your stomach, and you had to like pop up, and you had to pass, and you had to go out and like get ready to hit the ball or whatever. And it was hard. And the goal was 25. Well, because in volleyball, you play to 25, whatever. So when we were doing the drill, we were at 27 and we didn't stop, and nobody stopped us because our coach was gone. And I realized then we were going to be good, because we weren't looking for her to lead us. We could lead ourselves. We were just looking for her to like give us those extra things. So, that's it. Yeah. Leadership, shaking hands with Destiny, loving the content. Thank you. That's so nice. I'm just up here talking. I see what you're saying, really. Exactly. Yeah. It's just like, you don't need your team becomes your leaders. That's the mark of a good team. I've been washing my, yes, good. How do you feel now that you've been washing your face with cold water? Because it helps. You definitely went. Exactly. And I think that's the thing. It's like the intangibles. I think I have a video coming out that I think I have a video coming out about like the intangibles of sports. And that's one of them. It's just like, I can't measure on a stat sheet how many times so-and-so stepped up to lead a drill. You can't measure that. That doesn't show up in stats or anywhere. So it's like just things that you just start to see, and there's a development. And once it starts happening, you're like, oh my gosh, we're ready. Like, we can do this. Um, like we got this. Not only do we got this, we're focused enough to do this. So that's what I'm looking for. And that's so when I made my two early predictions, those are going to be my predictions because I don't watch Well Off, because I don't watch all the videos. I'm not seeing anything really unless I'm on somebody else's channel and they're live and they're showing their practices. I'm not seeing that. So when I do start watching some of it during spring ball, I want to see how what I see, since will have like kind of been away, like who's leading things, what are the coaches talking about? Are the coaches still talking about like we need you to believe? Because if the coaches still need them to believe, like we're not there yet. So that's why for me, I assess teams differently whenever I look at them, because I'm looking at intangibles. I know a lot of people like to like look at stats and look at this and that, and that. I don't grade teams that way. I like to look at the intangibles of the team. I really woke in the morning the past crazy around the Discord. Nice. Yeah, that's the thing. I always the biggest thing is too is when you're working out is making sure after I work out, I always wipe my face with a cold rag. A lot of people do hot rags. I do cold rags. My skin doesn't even look that great right now too. It's been a long weekend. I haven't gotten a lot of sleep. My face is starting to break out a little bit, but yeah. What else? What else is happening? Why is my phone going off? Oh, there's kids outside. My alarm doesn't like the kids outside. Thinks somebody is coming in the house. No one's coming. It's fine. I really woke in the morning. What else, friends? Is anybody driving home from work? I tried to schedule this so people could like listen to me blab when they're driving, but I don't know if anybody's actually driving. My eyebrows also don't look good on this. They're uneven. Ugh. Is Zaxby's the one with the crinkle fries with a little bit of seasoning? I try to stay away from fast food, but I love fast food. Ugh, I love those fries. I'm a fries person. Fries, 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 fries. Please. And more fries. Yum. Although I did go to oh my gosh, I love fries. What are your favorite fries? I think my favorite are the crinkle fries. I went to where did I go? I went to Golden Chick. I don't know if anybody in here has a Golden Chick where you're located. And I wanted like a small fry. No, I wanted a large fry. So I was like, because they have like, it's like seasoned. I don't know how to explain it. Sometimes the steak ones, I love that. And the portion sizes, I'm like, this is $4. It was the smallest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, I don't even want to eat out anymore. The portion sizes are embarrassing. I feel like I've been ripped off. Like, I felt offended. I'm like, the guy was like, okay, your total is, I think it was like $4.47 or whatever it was. And I just remember thinking, like, I am having a cheat meal when I'm eating these, and it's not even big enough. What a disappointment. Just terrible. Old school Riley's fries. Yeah, Golden Chick has like the taste like Riley's fries. Mm. But for $4, I'm listen. We've had this conversation before, people. When it comes to certain things, I am frugal. Why would I spend $4 on fries when I could go buy some potatoes and cut it myself? I actually Google restaurants with large portions. I love that. That's actually brilliant because, yeah, the portion sizes are terrible. I mean, and the thing is I remember when they handed me the thing, I literally said, "What is?" I was like, this is the large?" And the guy was like, "Yeah." He's like, "We've recently changed our sizes." And I'm like, "Well, give me another one." Like, I need. So now I'm like, It's ridiculous. So anyways, I like after that I ate those fries. The fries were amazing. Um so after that I was like, I'm going to buy a bag of potatoes and I'll just make my own fries. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Stupid portion sizes made me frustrated. Trying to have a cheat meal. And my large fries looks like a small. I was so mad. And it was $5 because I remember I think I got like a quarter. I think I got 2 quarters back and some change. I'm like, what a waste of money. This world's like I can't even live in this world anymore. Like, why is everything so expensive? It's ridiculous. Home cooking is the best cooking. I agree with that. The only thing with home cooking that I don't like is that I have to clean up. Is that it? Where's the rest of it? Yeah. That's what she said, Coach Kev. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm an adult. I'm mature. I'm just kidding. um, oh God, that's funny. Those corners better be flying down the field. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was too easy. It was too easy. I always tell if you're gonna give me a layup, I'm 95% of the time going to take the layup. In my defense, I'm a white guy. Okay. This escalated quickly. Oh my God, that is hilarious. Nate Wiggins from Clemson. Wow, that's fast. This man said in his defense, he's a white guy. Oh, Lord. Lord, Lord, Lordy. McDonald's is still my favorite for variety. For variety. Oh, because you could get like a burger or like nuggets or like, so you can get like a multitude of different things. I could see that. I could see that. I can't do Arby's. But you know what's funny? Since I've been on my fitness journey, I like fast food. Like it is expensive, but I happen to like fast food. Um, but there's certain fast food that it's like I don't crave it anymore. I used to always crave it. I used to always want it, and now I'm just like, And I think it's just because my eating habits have changed. So you're stopping now. I mean, I didn't help. I didn't help. I didn't make it any better. Like, of course, I'm totally acting like a child. And I'm okay with acting like a child sometimes because I always have to be professional. So, whatever. Fast food tastes nasty to me now. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say nasty, but there are certain things that I used to be able to eat that now when I eat them or when I smell them, I'm just kind of like it doesn't make me nauseous or sick, but I'm just like, I don't know. But I love fast food. And I actually just like grease. I need to stay away from it. Where'd you play volleyball? TJ. So I went to Tyler. I went to Tyler Junior College. Went to Tyler Junior College. Those Popeyes wings yeah. You know what else? When Popeyes started having their like nuggets, like the little bitty nuggets with it was like a ranch roasted or like a roasted ranch dip or something like that. I might have eaten those every week for probably a month. They were so good. Yes, those nuggets are so good with that blackened ranch. It's blackened ranch. If you've never had the nuggets from Popeyes with the blackened ranch, I think it's blackened ranch. So good. Will change your life. What are they feeding these kids for them to be this athletic? They are feeding them fast food. They are feeding the kids fast food, and the kids are getting the hormones from the fake fast food they are eating, and it is going into their bodies, and now they are more athletic. That is my story, and I am sticking to it. And this goes further. Like, I have a whole thing about food. This even goes further because when the women are pregnant and they're having the babies, they're eating these things as well. And so this child, all the hormones and all the pesticides and all the things that are in everything that we eat that is trying to send us to our early grave are in their bodies, and they're giving them to the kids. And these kids, that's why these kids are getting stronger and faster and bigger and all of these things, because all of those hormones that we're feeding the chickens and the whatever we're doing, they're going somewhere. I mean, hello. Why do you think they can't find where cancer comes from yet? Anyways, I just went on a whole tangent. It's the food. It's always the food. It's the food, and it's the chemicals and the food. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And even like, I'll even take this a step further. I'm a woman, so I can talk about woman things. Even in women products, a lot of the products that women use that we use often are now, they're like, oh, by the way, that product causes cancer. Oh, by the way, you know, those pads you used to wear, those also cause cancer. Like, it's all around us. So though, that's what's happening. Everyone's going to continue as food progresses and becomes worse and worse. Everyone's going to continue to get stronger, faster. People are going to be sicker. People are going to be more unhealthy. That's the way of the world. It's terrible, but that's where we are. Also, there's an ingredient in food. I cannot think of what the ingredient's called. I think it's in like Doritos and Pringles, and I think certain cereals. It's called something. It's like a red 5 something or another. I don't know what it's called. But I don't even know where it's made. So somebody is making this. Yeah, there it is, Red 44. So somebody is making this chemical where we don't know where it's made. We don't know where it comes from. We don't know what's in the chemical. We don't know anything. All we know is that if you eat a bag of Doritos, you're eating this chemical. Well, who makes it? Is it a Pfizer chemical? Is it a Pfizer product? Does Lay's make it? Does Pepsi where is this even being made? And no one's even telling us. And then they're just putting it in the food and we're just eating it. I'm like, okay. Like, my McDonald's hamburger should disintegrate if it sits out on my counter for a week. It doesn't. It's not food. Like, what do we do? Food gets molded and gross and whatever. Not a McDonald's burger. It does not do anything. If I had some oil stains in my driveway, and I remember going and buying like a couple of 3-liter Cokes and pouring the Coke and baking soda on the oil, and it left. And I'm like, that's not normal. I'm drinking this stuff. No, I know it is good. It is good. That's why I always say, like, in my friend group, I'm like, oh, okay, did you have some crack today? Because all of this stuff is terrible for you. You get addicted to it and you crave it. You get addicted to it, you crave it, you eat it, and then before you realize, you're like, what do you mean I have an irregular heartbeat? Why is my heartbeat irregular? I've always been healthy. Well, you are healthy, but you just decided to eat foods that you didn't know were terrible for you because no one's going to tell you. And sugar is the devil. But I'll just move on. I'll let it go. I'll let it go and talk about something else. It's terrible. It's terrible. And I do agree with you, Goat. It's good. That's the problem. We just don't know what's in it. It's amazing. But it's so funny because it's like Doritos are so bad I love Doritos. They're terrible for you. It's like, isn't it like Doritos, Pringles, and I feel like there's a couple of other things that I really like, and I'm like, oh, great. All this stuff is terrible for me. I wonder why. And then like stop eating it. Stop eating it for a little bit and watch how you'll like get a headache and you'll go through withdrawals. You know what else gives you a headache and you go through withdrawals if you stop? Drugs. Like, it's the same thing. Oh gosh. So basically we're all on drugs. Some of us are just on legal drugs. Some of us are on illegal drugs. But we're all consumers of drugs. We're all addicts in something. I'm addicted to Pepsi. That's my addiction. But like, what can you do? It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible for you. So I'm gonna start introducing myself. Hi, I'm addicted to Pepsi. What are you addicted to? It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. But here we are. Everything's fine. Make sure you go to the doctor. That little science, is that, I can't tell what that picture is, but it looks like is that a needle? Is that a person with goggles and a needle? I can't tell what it is, but it looks really funny. I didn't have going off on a food tangent on my bingo card today. You know what else is funny is I was thinking about when I used to, hi, my name is LJ and I'm addicted to Bluebell ice cream. Oh my God, Bluebell. Bluebell's another one. It's so good though. It's so good. You know what my favorite, not drawing off a little kid pointing saying mom and That's amazing. That's amazing. You know what my favorite Bluebell ice cream is? And now if I talk about it too much, I am going to have it. Have any of you ever had Millennium Crunch, where it's got little caramel pieces, pecan pieces, almond pieces, and chocolate chip pieces? Millennium Crunch is my all-time favorite Bluebell ice cream. Has anybody else had it? Please don't tell me it's like a Southern thing and you have no idea what I'm talking about. I only ate it once. You only ate Bluebell once or that flavor once? Nope, but I'm going to get some right now. Yes, it's called Millennium Crunch. And I think it's like Moo, M-O-O dash Linium. Oh, yeah. It's so good. Do you like it, Coach Dre? I love it. It's like the perfect mix of like the ice cream and like the caramel with the pecan with the almonds and the chocolate. It's so good. And the best, how I really like to eat it is like if you set it out on your countertop and let it unthaw for maybe like 5 minutes. So it's like it's all kind of merging together and it's soft. So good. It's so good. Like, what's up with my hair? This is a mess. Some of you have asked why I get braids. This is why. Look at this. This is a freaking mess. This is a mess. It's a whole mess. Oh my God. My favorite fruit. Oh, it's your favorite? Yes. That's awesome. I love it. Well, thank you for telling me I look good. This hair is a mess. But this is why I get braids. Look, in a minute, like it's just I actually had it down earlier. And then I was like, I can't deal with this. And then I put it up. And then, yeah. So I'm just going to go with it. This is me. This is me. Unfiltered, natural. Here I am. Take it or leave it. Coach Dre, we have that in common. I love Millennium Crunch. So good. And thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. I appreciate you not minding my hair all over my head. Now you tell me my hair is messy, but then saying it's not messy. That's funny. Well, the good thing is I don't have my glasses. If I have my glasses, then it gets really chaotic. But here I am. Here in a bun. Minding my business. Has anybody else had Millennium Crunch? Now I'm dying to know. Because it's my all-time favorite. And if you what was I going to say? I think, well, are almonds considered peanuts? Like if you're allergic to peanuts, no, you can eat almonds because you can have almond peanut butter. So yeah, so if you're allergic to peanuts, you can still eat it. Wait, yeah, because it just has pecans, chocolate chips. Yeah, you should still be able to eat it. Oh yeah. You think it's a South flavor. Oh, interesting. I could see that because of the pecans. I could see that. Pecans are very South. Anytime I go to Pittsburgh and I like interact with whoever, I'll always be like, "Do y'all have any chocolate covered pecans up here?" And they're like, "Why would we have chocolate covered pecans? Like, who would have pecans?" And I was like, "Oh, right, okay." Because up north, I guess they don't have pecan trees like we do everywhere. You cannot go wrong with butter pecan ever. You can never go wrong with butter pecan anything. Ever, 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 ever. I love butter pecan. It's funny because I feel like butter pecan is like it's like a black thing. Like that's like my grandma's favorite, my dad's favorite, my mom's favorite, my like all of my relatives, like it's their favorite. And so again, I will eat that in a second. I don't mind butter pecan. I will eat almost anything with pecans in it, though. So I'm also a Texas girl. So you actually can't be a Texas person and not like pecans. It doesn't really work. You it just like comes with the culture. Like pecans, Texas. It's like if you live in Texas and you don't like barbecue or you don't like steak. It's like it's you can't live in certain places and not like certain things. It just is what it is. And I mean good steak. That's so funny. I never thought about Millennium Crunch being a Southern thing, but it's good. So if you haven't ever tried it and you're going to the grocery store, like put it on your grocery list. Just try it. I mean, although I bet ice cream now, I haven't purchased a pint of ice cream in I don't know how long. It's probably like $7 at this point. I'm telling you. How much is a pint of ice cream? Has anybody recently purchased a pint of ice cream from the grocery store? If it's over $5, it's over my budget. Any player 349. Okay, 349 is not bad. 349 is not bad. What grocery store did you go to get it at 349? Any players in the Big 12 you think CU should be on the lookout for? Besides like the standard players that everybody's called out, like the Ollie Gordons. Oh, okay. Okay, so then that's not bad. If it's 349 at Kroger, okay, fine. It's still fairly priced. Um, but to me, I think that's the thing about the Big 12 that scares me is that I can list off players, but those it's always going to be the thing I didn't say, or it's always going to be like, for example, I think like Kansas State has like a decent or a pretty good offensive line. Their corners are also really good. Their corners and safeties are really, really, really good. They've been together for a long time. They're good. When I look at, so it's like different position groups, I feel like I'm more concerned about as opposed to a specific player because the players are going to be the players. So it's almost expected, but it's like the position groups that I'm more concerned about. Texas doesn't play Iowa State this year, so that's good. So we don't have to worry about them. Which will be super helpful because they're like one of those weird teams that are like hard to beat for like a weird reason. But I like certain teams position groups as opposed to a specific player. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I'm thinking. Question on CU football. If Levante Bentley balls out and makes an all Big 12 teams, are we absolutely? So here, okay. I have a video coming out that I think I'm going to release it before spring ball. Everyone's going to be annoyed at me for the video. I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to say, if you're a Colorado fan, when you watch this video, you're going to be so annoyed with me because what I say in there is I talk about the things I think we should look for in spring ball. And I already know, like, the things that I'm going to say in there are going to annoy some people, and they're going to be like, no, this person sucks. But, like, listen, our team and our coaches, it is what it is. Like, these are our people. And so we need to love on them and support them, and we need to hope that they get better because a lot of them aren't going anywhere. So I'm going to release that video. So I think I have like 3 or 4 CU videos that are already recorded. Because I am like one of these people, like I plan out my videos. So like I record a ton and then I decide when I'm going to release them. So I have a couple of videos that I'm going to release. I have one on Travis Hunter that I posted about that I'm going to release. I have one on the things I think we need to look out for in CU spring ball. And I'm going to be honest, you might not like my takes, but it doesn't make me wrong just because you don't like it. So yes, vacationing with kids. I do think we have to give props to Hart, and I think we better start leaning into Hart eventually because he's not going anywhere. So yeah, you've been warned. Right. Ohio State gives K-State a loss in exactly. Iowa State is Kansas State, with a little bit of better athletes and, better athletes because Iowa State has really good coaching as well. But thank God we don't have to play them. So I love to see a female knowing sport. Love it. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Forgot to say hi, Rum. Yeah, good take. Hi, coach. Hope you're feeling better. Smiley, the running back Ohio State has is he is. And that's the thing. It's like, I'm not a person who likes, I don't need you to like validate that I was correct. And I don't need you to be like, oh my God, what she was saying is 100% accurate. However, the more you start to research the Big 12 and then go back and watch my Big 12 video, it's very simple. Like, I'm telling you what I know. And as you watch it, your opinions, if you're open-minded and up to learning, your opinions will be very similar to mine. You will see what I'm talking about. And I always say, go watch other Big 12 teams play each other. Don't go watch Texas play Iowa State. Don't go watch Oklahoma play Kansas State. Go watch Kansas State play Kansas. Go watch Iowa State play TCU. Like, go watch these other schools play each other. And you will see what I'm saying. Like, these teams are technically sound. Go on ESPN right now and go look at how many penalties these teams had. Go look at, you know what I mean? Like, go look at the transfer portal on these teams. How many people are leaving as opposed to how many people are coming in? Like, there's a lot of factors here that determine a good football team. And but you have to do a little bit of research to go. But once you start to research the Big 12, you're going to go, oh God, wait a second. Wait, I didn't think about this. Oh gosh, like, oh, this team's pretty solid. And then you're going to be like, none of them are seniors. So like, just, yeah. You made me go watch them and I was like, wow, the TCU, yeah, exactly. Will you ever get a panel? If I do a panel, the first panel I'm going to do is only going to be with women. So, okay, here's the plug. My shirt is literally falling apart as I talk. Here's how my week has gone. I wear this shirt in as many videos as I can, and it's gone. It's literally unraveling as I sit here. So whatever. So if you see videos moving forward with this shirt, just know RIP. It's served its purpose. If you are a woman and you are in this chat, go to my page, click on the little email button and email me because I want us to all do a panel together. And I want to have ladies up and let's discuss. So if you're interested, if you're watching this live or even when you watch this on the playback and you want to be a part of a panel with me and other ladies, email me. It will come to me and I will read it and I will email you back. And let's get something scheduled for the lovely ladies. Once I do a panel with only ladies, then maybe I'll open it up and do it differently. But I will do we can talk sports. There's a lot of women in this chat. But yeah, like let's see the ladies talk sports and let's see what we think. Let's give our opinions. Because I talk sports with a lot of my girlfriends and It's lovely. And women just look at sports differently. Doesn't make us wrong or right. Doesn't make men wrong or right. It's just we look at sports differently. And I think that that's cool. I think if you compare the two and combine them, you get the perfect idea. The perfect idea. So, yeah. So, ladies, if you're interested and you want to be on a panel, and if you heard my first live and you remember my idea, okay, wink, wink, if you remember my idea. No, seriously, send me an email because I think it'd be fun for the ladies to get on and state our opinions. Like, what is our record prediction for CU? Who do we think CU is going to lose to this year? What things are we looking forward to watch this team grow? What do we think? Like, let's get our opinions out there. So hit me up. Let's make it happen. And I'm putting it out there too, because if you see anybody else that takes my idea, make sure you go in their little chat box and you're like, you stole this idea. So yes. So let's have ladies panel. So until I have a ladies panel, I will not do anybody else. So ladies, we are going to be the first and we're going to do it. And we're going to make it happen. And if we can talk, here's the thing. A lot of these men panels don't always talk about sports either. So let us talk about what we want to talk about. You might learn something from us. Just because it's women talking doesn't mean we have to, you might learn something from hearing the women talk sports. Come on. What do you think we're going to talk about? Our bra sizes? I mean, come on. These guys get up here and talk about all kinds of stuff, and you all tune in and watch the chaos, and I'm in the chat laughing. So the women can get on, and we can talk about whatever we want to talk about. You might actually like it, Johnny. You might actually be like, these women conversations aren't bad. I didn't know that. I learned something from that woman panel. Yeah, so go send me a message. Let's hear it. Yeah, sounds good to me. Yeah, so let's do it. Let's make it happen. So whenever I get enough women who want to have a panel, we will schedule it and I will use StreamYard. Okay. I've been playing with a little bit. I'll use StreamYard. I'll get it figured out. And we can make it happen. Because you know what? I believe in women empowering women. So let's do it. Let's do it. Sounds good. What are you saying no to? No? Just no? What are you saying no to? I need you to explain. And if you're saying no to a woman's panel, I can reach out to Tiff and I can see if she wants to join. All women can be a part of it. Doesn't have, I mean, I'm not going to be like, no. Like, we just want women who want to come up, talk sports, and state their opinions. I like what Kansas has built. Really excited to them. Yeah. Kansas is one of those programs that I think I said in my video, because I feel like I'm about to repeat myself, is that you just don't know what to expect until you see them. And you're like, oh, okay, like this team is 5-0, or, oh, this team is 7-1 or whatever. Like they will always be almost a stepchild in the Big 12 because historically they haven't been good at football. They've been a very basketball school. And so they always kind of get I don't want to say the shaft, but they just always kind of get the otherness of the Big 12, but they're not somebody that you can sleep on. They're very athletic. And a lot of people like to go to the University of Kansas because they know the basketball team is going to be good. And so there's the college life, I've heard, also is really fun in Kansas. So if that's what you like, why not go there? I still don't know what the no was to. I like the wide receivers and corners. You know what's funny, Goat, is I like that you took, I like that you're doing your research. I like that you're doing your research to figure out the players for you and to figure out like what you think about what's being said, because you're like me, like we're often in like these chats, and we're often in these chats and also like trying to figure out things, and we hear people say the same things over and over, but like once you actually take the time to do your research and then you hear somebody come on the panel and you're like, you haven't done your research. I've been watching this team. Like, I know what I'm talking, like, you don't know what you're talking about. So good for you. I've been keeping my eye on, if you had to pick, who would you want to get most improved from 2023 season? If I had to pick, well, actually, so not in my video that I teased that I was going to create about spring ball. If I had to pick, I would say Bentley, because I think our linebacker group has to get better. And if somebody could improve, that I think would dramatically impact CU's chances to win football games, I would 100% pick Bentley. And it wouldn't even be close. Like Bentley, if Levante Bentley can be amazing, I like that. I think it sets up our team in a way that I don't think that we can realize yet, because he would make that impact if he could be if he could really step up. Because last year I felt like he was in a lot of places, he just like didn't make the play, if that makes sense. And so I think if he could dramatically improve to like not only being there but like actually making the play and like being light on his feet, I really think like he's going to be like my sleeper. Talked about that recently, about how Buffs don't have baseball miss out. Exactly, because it's not a college environment. I think it's helping them that their basketball team is good, but still, it's like, I don't know about you all, but like when I went to college, I went for the experience. Like I wanted to go to the games and hang out and there to be something going on. And if your team is good at sports and you have a lot of different things to do, it's fun. And I also think that right now it's baseball season. And so at the University of Colorado, like what's going to be happening at the University of Colorado after basketball is over when it comes to sports? It's like all basketball. It's like there's no the longevity of like being able to enjoy the sport like doesn't work. He is in the conference to improve. Yeah. I'm rooting for J5 to improve. Stay tuned, Endo, to my video on the people that we need to pay attention to in the spring, because a lot of people here's what I know. A good team develops the people to reach their potential. If the University of Colorado is going to be a good program, they have to develop the talent to reach their full potential, period. So we can say 7-5, 9-3, 11-1, whatever, right? But if they don't develop their talent, they can't achieve those goals. So in my video, I am going to trigger people and piss people off. I don't care. But I have 3 players that I'm focused on, and I have a coach that I'm focused on that I don't think we should give up on. I think that we should push them to be better and develop them. And I think if we don't do that, I don't think it will be good for CU, because in teams, just because somebody isn't as good as somebody else, like, what are you going to do then? How are you going to make them better? So that's my thing. Like, are you going to make somebody better, or are you just going to write them off when we see somebody has potential? Like you said, J5 has speed. You can't teach speed. So how can we capitalize on that? They haven't developed none of their players. It's right. It's exactly. It's just year 1, right? So the development in year 1, we're not really expecting it. However, I am expecting it from year 1 to year 2. I don't want to see the same person making mistakes in year 1 that made or sorry, yeah, I don't want to see the people making mistakes in year 2 that made the same mistakes in year 1. Like, I need to see development. I need to see that certain guys are developing, which is why I made my video that's going to annoy people, but it's coming. But I want to see that because I think if you can take your worst or least developed player and make them better, everybody else steps up their game. And so it just makes for a better team. J5 using editing, but I don't want to defend him all season. Yeah, I've been on record calling out J5 on purpose. And every time I get an opportunity, I'm going to call him out and I'm going to say, Jimmy Horn Jr., catch the ball. We want you to be amazing. We know that you can be amazing. So go be amazing, but catch the ball. They're going to see some plays they didn't see. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's the thing. Like, improve. Improve. That's my thing. And I think when the University of Texas was going through their lull of just like not very good, the players weren't developing. Nobody was improving. Like, it was just year after year, we'd get these 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. Great. This is great. And then nothing. By the time they left, like, we wouldn't even remember their names because they just weren't doing good. So we need to change that. We need to change that because good teams, things change. Yeah. I mean, if they don't do 12 personnel this year, that's what I mean. It's like, that's why I keep saying I need to go to this North Dakota State game and be like, what the F? What the F? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And hopefully in the stands, I don't have to say anything. And hopefully I get to just enjoy the game and clap every time we score a touchdown and cheer and love it and drink water the whole time or whatever, because I don't drink alcohol, but like just have a good time. That's why I keep joking and saying I want to go to North Dakota State, because please don't screw this up. Do not screw this up. They're going to run through the bad teams because of talent, but the conversation. Well, that's what I hope. That's my hope. That's what they're supposed to do. They're actually supposed to do that. And that would be the North Dakota State, Colorado State, Nebraska. That's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to run through those teams. I agree. I think the other thing that's interesting here is that what am I trying to say? I don't know if I have the right words. I think that I think that the progression is also going to be a little weird. I like, what am I trying to say? Like, I think in the spring, once I get pads on, I'm hoping to see a little bit of progression, right? Because the season ended. Now we got new players in. They've been working out whatever. Spring ball comes, and I expect to see like a little bit of progression. And then in the summer, they're going to progress a little bit. And then when fall camp comes, they're going to progress a little bit. And then when the season starts, I still want to see that progression, because I feel like this year or last year, it was like we almost saw their bodies changing and we saw the different things. But it was like we didn't like see it on the field. Like this year, I hope we like see it on the field. I actually thought last year they like progressively got worse. And I don't want them to progressively get worse this year. I want them to like progress. Like, I want them to be like ascending this year instead of feeling like they're regressing. I don't know. Did anybody else feel like they regressed last year? Like, I don't know. I just felt like, I don't know. It was weird. I don't know. Or maybe I'm the only person that thought that they regressed last year. Maybe everybody else is like, oh my God, no, they were so much better. I think the defense got slightly better as the season went on. You know what's funny is I kind of thought that too. But then statistically, they didn't. And they like, yeah, I mean, I guess I almost felt like I don't know what I don't know. Last year was stressful. Last year was terrible. Oh gosh. Yeah, I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like last year we I don't know. It just and maybe because we didn't win. And I think sometimes winning like cures all. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I think. I just hope that this year they're getting better. Let's just hope that they're getting better and they're winning more games. That's it. The Washington State game was brutal. The Washington State game was like yeah, Washington State was almost like a reminder. It was right in our face that everything we thought could never be. It was like because I think going into Washington State, we were 4-8, or we were four and whatever. What was it? 4-6, whatever we were. And I remember there was kind of like this little silver lining that like if we could win Washington State, we would be 5 and whatever, and then we would go play Utah and we could potentially be 6 and whatever. But at the same time, we also knew we weren't very good. So there's like this weird dynamic where it's like we're not very good, but maybe, like, just maybe we can win this. Like, maybe we can go to a bowl game and maybe. And it was just like watching that, you're like, no, no, it's not going to happen. Like, it's just not going to happen. Um, it's just not going to happen. Like, we're not going to beat Washington State. Then obviously that was just, yeah, that was just bad. That was just terrible. Who was the player that you were worried about the most? I mean, it's kind of funny because like our offensive line was terrible. I mean, you can say whatever you want, but they were bad. Um, now he's following CU to the Big 12. Yeah, so that, yeah, I don't know. I just remember I actually I feel like I could get back to the place I was at when I was watching Washington, and for some reason I just remember thinking we're not gonna get blown out, are we? Are we gonna get blown out? We're not gonna get blown out. We're not gonna get blown out, right? Like, this is the tide's gonna change, right? Like, we're not gonna get blown out. And then it was just like, let me just be quiet and watch this because we're going to get blown out. We're not good. We're not good. All the things that I thought weren't big deals are big deals and we're not good. It was like that was the game where I realized, like, oh, okay, we're just not good. We're just not good. And then watching Washington the last game of the season, I had zero expectations. I remember being annoyed that Travis Hunter was even playing because I was like, we're just like not good. But hopefully this year is different. Hopefully every game this year, I'm like, oh, maybe. I'm also maybe in the majority or minority here where I don't like when people have conversations where they're like, we could have almost won. We could have almost won. I don't like almost. Almost doesn't count. Like, don't miss me with the almost. I don't care. No. I don't care that we could have almost. I just don't know. I don't subscribe to we almost could have beat them. We almost could have beat them. Like, I'm sorry, but that's like losers mentality. You didn't almost. You lost the game. You weren't good enough and you lost. Stop with the almost. Like, no, we didn't. We weren't almost anything. The only game we almost won was Arizona. That's the only game that we almost won because we were tied and they had to kick a field goal to win. That's the only game I feel like we almost won. Because we gave up Stanford, whatever. Let's not even talk about that. But it's like the other games, I'm just like, I don't really ever think we were like, oh, we could have almost like USC, we're making a comeback. Like, were we? Were we? I mean, whatever. So I just think we need to start being realistic here about who we are and what we can do. I don't like the, "Oh, almost," like, no, I don't like that. So, we lost. We lost. And next year we should win, period. So, oh, you said 7 and 5 ceiling. Who do you have us losing to, um, vacationing? Who do you have us losing to give us the 5 losses? I'm curious. I'm also going to check my email to see if any of you, because like, um, okay, yeah, I just want to make sure my email was coming to my phone. So if any of you want to email me about being on a ladies panel, we can. Facts up back. I want to know who the 5 you think we're going to lose to. Wait, Kansas, yeah, Kansas City. Yeah. Sad story. If you type Nebraska, I might scream. Please just don't type Nebraska. Who are you just saying one more toss up like you think they're going to lose one more um vacationing and you don't know who it is, you just think it's going to be one? Or are you saying that you're thinking of the one? Oh God, I'm so tired of the Nebraska conversation. Please let's not talk about Nebraska, please. Oh my gosh. And this is nothing against law by any stretch of the imagination, but it is like I points are being made. Oh, okay, that's fair. It's like points are being made, valid points are being made. Nobody wants to hear the validity of the point, and we're off and running. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Like, same argument, same points. No one's listening to each other. No one wants to change their mind. Um, and we're just, here we are, like dealing with this conversation again. Nebraska or Utah. That's fair. It's like the perfect setup. Like we're there minding our business, and then it's like Nebraska, and I'm like, oh God, let's not ever like Nebraska triggers me now. The funny thing about Nebraska is a volleyball school. I don't know if you know this, but Nebraska is like they're really good at volleyball. In the past 2 years, Texas has beaten Nebraska in the championship. Well, not in the championship game, but this year Texas like wiped the floor with Nebraska in the championship game. And last year Nebraska was good too. Anyway, so when I hear Nebraska, I'm used to hearing Nebraska around volleyball because they're like a powerhouse at volleyball. So for me, Nebraska is like an extra, like whatever school. So now to hear it popping up in my football conversations, I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot quit this school. Yeah, Nebraska is the pinnacle of volleyball in a lot of different ways. If they still have the same problem from last year, this season could get yeah, seriously. But the perfect media storm is CU losing to NDSU would be the same media coverage for Prime Media. I have said that North Dakota State is a trap game because they're supposed to win. And I think that there's going to be a threshold with like, okay, let's say CU wins by 7. I don't think they're going to get any praise. People are going to be like, they should have won by more. If CU wins by 14, I think people are going, maybe. I think anything over 14, depending on how it goes, I think they'll be okay. But if they pull away in the fourth quarter, you're going to get people talking trash about CU. And that's how it's going to be. It's like North Dakota State is a perfect trap because if they don't blow them out, then it's like, it's annoying. It's actually the most annoying thing to me about people is people don't take wins for what they are. It's like yes, you won, but yes, you did this, but yes, you did that, but it's my same argument that I have against the we barely lost. We could have won that game. Stop. You lost. You sucked. You weren't good enough. You didn't win. Like you lost. Period. I think the same thing's going to happen if North Dakota State is a joke. My shirt is continuing to unravel. Great. Beautiful black women on the championship team. I know that's right. So, and that's the thing about Texas. So Texas's volleyball team is so there's this changing of the guard. And I actually called into Coach Hayes's show before the season started in August, I think it was. And I told him, I said, one of the things I'm noticing that the NFL is doing is they're moving to positionless football. And one of the people I talked about, I think his name is Buda Baker. He plays for the Cardinals. And I was like, he is a linebacker safety hybrid kind of position. And I think that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get athletes. Volleyball has already started this kind of positionless thing. And you can look at it when you look at the University of Texas volleyball team and how they're built versus other teams. So Texas volleyball is built around a bunch of athletes. They're stronger, they're faster, they're more athletic. But they're not, when you look at them being recruited, they might not be the best volleyball players. They had to learn the skill of volleyball. That doesn't mean they sucked, but like they weren't the best volleyball player, but they were the most athletic. And Texas recruits athletes to play on their women's volleyball team. And then they train them to be phenomenal volleyball players. Other schools recruit really good volleyball players. And so anytime you watch Texas play against these teams, statistics would tell you Texas should not beat them because they are usually taller. They're a little bit more leaner. They're built to be volleyball players. So they're, 6'5", 6'4", like strong, like whatever. But Texas beats them because Texas is more athletic and they're faster. And so their offense can be faster. They can get to the ball faster. So that's why Texas, like they're back-to-back champions right now in volleyball because they have figured out a different way to recruit. They don't recruit like other teams recruit. And so that's the thing that I think is starting to also happen in other sports is that positionless is starting to kind of make its run into other things. Shedeur is undefeated in season openers 3-0, outscoring his opponents 11-1. They need to win by 14. So you see what I'm saying? Like, what if they only win by 10? And I don't think as a sports viewer, I don't view sports that way. I don't view sports as you have to win convincingly because things change week to week. I hope they do. I hope they destroy them. If they don't, though, I'm not going to be concerned unless they didn't run the ball. If they don't run the ball against North Dakota State, I'm concerned. Period. I'm concerned. If they do not run the ball against North Dakota State, I don't care I don't care if they blow them out. If they only run the ball 10 times or 8 times, I'm going to be pissed. Like, we need to see plus 20. Like, run the ball. If we do not run the ball against North Dakota State, I don't care if we win. I'm going to be bothered. That's why I need to be in the crowd, because I need to be yelling to run the ball. I cannot believe my clothes are falling apart. Just run the ball. That's it. Like, because you should be that much better. And I think it helps Alton like get in his groove too. He hasn't played like a full game in 2 years? Like that allows him to get in a rhythm and it allows him to be the best him he can be. That's what we want. Run the ball. I'm telling, if they do not run the ball, 20 plus runs minimum. Run the ball. Run the damn ball. Period. Like, show us you can do it. What if they have offense like the Patriots? But no, 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 no. We need to run the ball. Like the football that Tom Brady was playing with the Patriots, that football, I don't think that's not what we're trying to do here. They're not they're not that's not no. No. We need to run the ball. We need to run the ball. We need to run the ball. Here's the thing. All season we've been complaining about this. All off season. Even during the season we were complaining they weren't running the ball. In the off season we've been complaining they weren't running the ball. And now when the game starts we're like, "Hey, don't run the ball. It's okay." No. We cannot change our expectations on this. Hi Cece, how are you, love? What if they have offense like the page? No, no, no. I feel like the reason we didn't run as much last year with Alto, one, he was coming off an injury. Also because our O-line didn't hold up as well, which means you know what? Valid. I'll give you that. I will give you that point that you are 100% correct, and that is why we didn't run the ball. Cool, right? Perfect. So that means if we take your logic, that means this year in game 1 against North Dakota State, they should run the ball. Because this year, y'all told me the offensive line is better. This year, you told me Alton's ready to go. This year, you told me we were going to see something different. This year, you told, so run the ball. And I'm not even going to talk about last year not running the ball. That was dumb. I never want to talk about that again. Let's just run the ball this year. This year, we're going to run the ball. Whatever their excuse was ridiculous. Was thinking the Steelers should draft Bo Nix. Stop trying to put Bo Nix on the Steelers. We don't want him. No. Stop. Especially not with our number one. Like, when do you think Bo Nix is going to go? Because I damn sure don't want to take him in the first round. And I don't want to take him in the second round either. So when are you thinking we should take Bo Nix? Because we picked number 20. And where's the draft this year? Where are they picking? I might be on a first car drive to wherever. Where is the draft this year? That sounded really aggressive. Where is the draft? Before I say I'm going to show up, where is it at? Does anybody know where the draft is at this year? I know the Steelers are trying to get the draft to be in Pittsburgh, but I know. Is it Detroit this year? Is the draft in Detroit just this year? Let me Google that. NFL draft 2024. Where is the draft at? Oh yeah, it's in Detroit. I feel Bo would be good for Steelers. No, right, we need an elite quarterback, so no to Bo Nix. No, thank you. I've said this before. Here's the problem with the Steelers. We're in the AFC North. And do you trust Bo Nix and the AFC North playing 6 outdoor games in the AFC North? Do you trust Bo Nix that he could go win you more games than he loses? My answer is no. So therefore, I don't want Bo Nix. I don't. No. Please. Can't wait to the 2025 draft. Oh God, 2025 is such a long way away. You know what's funny? I heard people, I don't remember what channel I was listening to, and I was hearing people talk about like who's going to draft the CU players in 2025 and what teams Travis Hunter should go to. Here's the thing, spoiler alert, we don't know who's going to pick where in the draft. And a lot of times in the NFL, it's not about who's the best talent. It's about the actual team's needs. Like, for example, I hope this doesn't happen, but if the Texans tank this year and the Texans get the number 1 draft pick, they're not going to have CJ Stroud and Shedeur Sanders on the team together. So it's like all of these like draft picks for 2025, like stop talking about it. It's embarrassing. We don't even know who's going to get the first pick of the draft. So it's like, or like, God forbid, I don't know, like the Kansas City Chiefs, God forbid this year something happens to Patrick Mahomes and he can't finish out the year, but he comes back strong in 2026. In the 2025 draft, they're not going to draft somebody that's going to replace Patrick Mahomes. Like, so it's just, I don't understand like why we're doing these like predictions on where guys are going to go. We don't even know who's going to have the first top 10 draft picks. So I hate when people are like, "Oh, yeah, next year Shador's going here." I'm like, "How do you know? You don't even know where that team's going to be picking in the draft." Like that conversation is just weird. I bet Bo Nix wouldn't have been sacked 52 plus times if he was playing for CU. Well, damn. Um, are you saying that racism played a factor? Or are you saying because you think Bo Nix is a better quarterback than Shador? Why do you think that? Vacationing. I need to understand why. What's the comment behind the comment? Like, do you think Bo Nix is better than Shador? Oh, because Bo Nix. Okay, okay. Because I do agree with that. I do agree with that. You know what's funny is, you know who else historically didn't take checkdowns, and it drove me freaking crazy? Ben Roethlisberger. Ben, take the check down. Take the check down, Ben. Ben hated taking the check down. Like, don't even get me started on Ben. You know what? We had some good years. We had some good years with Ben. Thank you, Ben. We appreciate you. Thank you for your service and your 2 Super Bowls. We appreciate you. Um, yeah. Well, and who knows, right? Like maybe that's the evolution of Shador's game this year. Like maybe he's going to start taking the checkdowns. Um, maybe he'll see it. Also, though, like sometimes I feel like we often we often um blame players for certain things and rightfully so. But at the same time, like, are any of his coaches telling him, hey, you know, make sure like the check down's open? Like, is anybody like I'm not saying that it's not only his responsibility, but it feels like so many times, like we always blame the player and blame the player and blame the player, which is fine. But how do we know that is the coach? But like, no, I get it. He's been playing it his whole career, but also I've been doing a lot of things my whole life, and sometimes I forget too. And it's like in the game of football, when things are happening so bad, like, is there somebody that's just kind of like reminding them, like, hey, bro, don't forget, like, check down. Hey, like, don't forget to pay attention. Like, I know, like, I guess what I'm saying is the same way that players have to watch film about the other team and about whatever, Colorado coaches should also be watching film on Shador that can tell him, hey, FYI, this make sure you do this. I've been watching film on you and I've noticed that these are things you don't do. Like implement that into your game or something like that. Like where's that accountability? I guess is my point. Like obviously it's on Shador to ultimately do it, but like who is making sure that he remembers that he's supposed to do it? I don't know if that makes sense. I just feel like so many times we always like blame the players. We're always like the players, the players, the players, but it's like they have coaches. What are their coaches doing? Like who's responsible as their coach to help them whatever. I think it's funny that you laughed at my point. I hate that. But you know what I'm talking about? Like there's so many channels that are like, "Oh my god, 2025 draft. This is what's going to happen. Like let's talk about it." I'm like, "Why are we talking about this? Why are we even talking about this? Stop it. Let's not do that." Yeah, and that's all I'm saying like who it's supposed to be what's that word? Is it what's that word where it's like reciprocal. Like, just like players are supposed to do their part, coaches are supposed to do their part, and we're supposed to work together. Like, you're supposed to have my back just like I'm having your back. If I'm going to go execute the plays you want me to execute, I also need your eyes to make sure that I am doing what I'm supposed to do, like on my end. So are we doing that? I don't know if we're doing that. Maybe we are. So I don't know. But I'm going to end this live. And I always get on here and I just talk until I get hungry. because I like food. And because I like food, I'm going to talk. And as soon as I start getting hungry, I'm going to end the live so I can go eat. But I want to say again, ladies, if you're in this chat and you want to be a part of a panel, go to my channel and make sure to send me an email. And let's connect. Like, let's figure out how we can make this happen, and it will be cool. And we'll just talk about like CU. We'll give our predictions. We'll give our thoughts. If we want to talk trash about a video I created, we could do that too. Just let me know what you want to do. Prime is going to try to push Shedeur to Atlanta if it's possible. So again, though, if it's possible, okay, well, when I started this live, we were talking about them saying Justin Fields is going to Atlanta. So do we want Shedeur to go to Atlanta and Justin Fields is there if he's their starter? Like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm going to say this, and I mean this with love. Coach Prime doesn't have as much power and control that we think he does. That's not how the world works. Coach Prime can say, like, yeah, I want my kids to play here. But the reality is that is a business. And the NFL is a billion-dollar business controlled by white men. If you think for half of a second that Coach Prime has that much power over billionaire white men, like, come on, you guys. Like, yeah, he can try to push for whatever he wants, but okay, great. Like, okay. I don't, the world isn't really, the NFL really doesn't care about Coach Prime in that regard, respectfully, if that makes sense. Like, respectfully, they love him, all the things, they're friends, they'll probably go golf together, they'll hang out, they'll kick it, they'll probably donate to the collective, they'll probably, all the things. I love that. I think that's great. I just want us to remember that this is a billion-dollar organization. A billion-dollar organization. They are going to do what they're going to do. That's all I'm saying. Yes, but Coach Prime is not their agent. That's my thing. He's not their agent. And let's put this in context here. You are absolutely right. Agents know how to maneuver. Look at Eli Manning. Valid point. But let's think about two things. The first thing is Coach Prime has two sons. So now you're wanting him. Now he has two different people. Okay. I'm going to assume they're all going to have the same agent. I'm going to assume they have the same agent. Okay. You have one agent that has to get two brothers on the same team. You could also argue, depending on who you are, the talent level is different and the needs might be different. So as a human, as a person, some of you, if you're dads or moms or whatever, let's think about this other thing. Would you want to force your kids on the same team if you knew one of your kids were going to get to play and the other one of your kids was not going to get to play? Would you want to force that issue and put them on the same team? For example, I'll just use the Steelers. If the Steelers get a good quarterback this year, we have pretty good safety. We have Minka, like our safety room, like we usually have really good safeties. If you bring Shedeur and Shiloh to the Steelers, both of those guys, they can't both play. Would you want that? my point is, like, I know it's, like, fun to talk about, like, this fantasy world where, like, "Oh, they're gonna go play together, they're gonna be together, they're gonna be" like, I think that's great, but I think when you ever when you really think about it, like, it's not fair to both of them to be pushing that narrative because both of those guys wanna play. They should go to a team that's going to allow them to play. That's all I'm saying. And then you have Travis Hunter, where it's like, so now he has 2 sons. Let's give him 2.5 sons. And like he's going to want to do what's best for he wants to do what's best for Travis Hunter too. So what are we saying here? And then I'm going to take this a step further. How does this look for Prime with his other athletes? So if Prime's going to coach into 2025 and he has like he's recruiting and bringing in all these talent and bringing in all these people, okay, great. And then Coach Prime goes and recruits, okay, he recruits talent and they come in. And the people he recruited are coming in and they're seeing that all he cares about is Shedeur, Shiloh, and Travis Hunter. Okay, what about the other guys that helped you win next year? Like, my point is like I just want us to like use a little bit more critical thinking, like a little bit more like a little bit more of how this would really look to other people because those are his kids. He can go all in on his kids. I respect that. It gets tricky when you start bringing in other people that he's trying. Like he can't. Like it's like what do you want him to do? So you want him to get Shedeur, a good team. You want to get Shiloh, a good team. You want to get Travis Hunter, a good team. Okay, well, what about Alton McCaskill? If he plays well this year, we want him to get a good team too. What about, you know what I mean? Like you can't. I get it. We want to think he can do everything at all the same time, but it's like we're not actually thinking these things through. It's like we're living in this fantasy world, which sometimes it's fun to live there, but like it can't happen the way that we think it's going to happen because there's other teams, respectfully, with better players. Not saying better than Shedeur, but with better, you know what I mean? So it's like it's interesting. And everything the world isn't perfect. That's not how the world goes. It just isn't perfect. The situation matters. The timing matters. The year they have this year matters. Dallas will pick up Shedeur at one point. I think that's supposed to say at one point, but won't start, my prediction. Maybe. But then again, it's like, I mean, I wouldn't want my son playing for the Dallas Cowboys. Like, I mean, I don't know. Listen, as of right now, from what I've seen from the Cowboys, I wouldn't want my child playing for them. Like, but that's just my personal opinion. They can have their own opinion. Only way Shedeur and Shiloh get drafted is Shiloh goes undrafted. I could see that. My eyelid is living. You know what I'm saying, Mike? Like, do you want to go be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys right now? Like, I wouldn't want to do that. No. No. I just no. Like, not with that coaching staff. Respectfully. I also think. You see what I'm saying? So think about like you got me. Dream scenario would be Denver drafting Shedeur. Now I could see that. Like Denver, depending on what they do in this offseason, I could see that. I also think that, like, again, this goes back to me saying how people talk out of both sides of their mouth. On one end, they're like, Coach Prime isn't going to coach for in college football in 2025. Or if he does, he's going to go to Florida. Okay. But then at the same time, they're like, but I hope Shedeur goes to play, goes and becomes a Bronco. So do you hope he's becoming a Bronco so he can be close to his dad? But you're also the same person saying his dad wants to go to Florida. So if that's the case, you would want Shedeur to go be the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or whatever. So it's like, that's my whole point. And like, I feel like people make these arguments and have these conversations about things that I'm like, That doesn't even make any sense. Like, your argument is just like the whole argument is flawed. Um, I'm still trying to figure out how Arizona kept most of their team. Arizona, the, the University of Arizona. I'm really look at this shirt. Look, it's just getting worse. Can you? Yeah, you can see that. Now the other piece is coming apart. It's just in a minute, my whole shirt's gonna come off. I'm still trying to figure out how. So I have thoughts about this. I have a theory. I think when teams, I think when schools lose their coaches and a lot of people don't follow, they don't really like that coach. So I think that I don't think they liked him. I think that I think they like where they're at and they didn't want to follow him. Hey Tate, how are you? You've been popping up lately. I see you got them coins and now you're back in the chat. I know that's right. Oh, I'm having all kind. This has been my whole week. I told you when I got on, like, oh, now look at my other hand. It's just like everything's falling apart. This has been my week this week. It's just a mess. I'm just a mess. Good top recruits won't come anymore until he signs a new contract extension. I agree. And so this is what, if I live in Arizona with the baddies are going to watch. Exactly, Jade. Like, well, that too. Again, another factor that we're often not talking about when it comes to sports is like, they like the ladies. I think it's interesting about if I was Coach Prime, I would wait until my team starts winning. And then I would go back to that negotiating table. And I would make sure that before the end of the season and before recruits signed on the dotted line, I would sign my extension. But I wouldn't sign it now. I would wait until in the season I'm winning and I'm proving that my team is going to be good. And then I would go back to the negotiating table. And then I would sign that contract. Then I would let it leak that I just signed the contract. And so those people can flip if they want to come to your school. Because let's be honest, top recruits aren't going to come to Colorado if they're not winning. Top recruits want to win. So they want to come to a winning program. So I think it's all tied in together. Somebody DoorDash the Queen food so we can keep the live rolling. Oh my God. They still have, well, yeah. That's why I was trying to see if he's going to leave. Good point. I would. But she said, I mean, if y'all want me to keep talking, I just always assume, I guess because it's me and I feel like I talk to the camera all day, It sounds psycho. Because when I record content, I'm like talking to my phone. So I'm like recording content. And so for me, I always just feel like people don't want to hear me talk because I'm just talking because I listen to myself talk all day. So I just assume nobody wants to hear me talk. So that's why I'm like, I gotta go. I'm going to go eat. But if you guys want me to stay on, my Cash App is, no, I'm just kidding. The funny thing is I usually always carry a snack. And I don't have a snack. And I'm not in a place where I can just like go grab a snack. So I'm like, but I just had some water. My water has lemon in it. It usually like keeps me going. It's like it's the fakest. I say water with lemon is the fakest food you will ever eat. Because it keeps me like hydrated and going. It keeps my throat. Anyways, I'm not going to say what I was about to say because that was going to take a turn. So I'll just leave it where it's at. One of the things I did want to ask is, well, if my shirt starts to unravel, I will end the live. So once my shirt starts to come off on my arm, I've got to go. One of the things I was going to say though is, do you all think that winning is going to bring in more recruits? Because I personally believe that if you're not winning, like, why would high-end recruits want to come to your organization? And yes, there's some people that would say, yes, I want to come and be the change. I want to come and be the reason why we're winning. And I want to make that much of an impact. I respect that, but let's be real. Not all kids think that way. And so I think though, if Colorado starts to win, I think kids are going to flip and want to come to Colorado. I believe that. I believe a lot of these like top recruits that had Colorado on their list but ultimately decide to commit and go elsewhere. I honestly believe that they're waiting to see if Colorado can win games. And if they can show that they're a real program, I think they will flip. Are you in favor of firing Coach Hart and Coach Mathis? No, I'm not. Absolutely not. I don't think that you can have a bad team all the way around and pick blame, because if that's the case, everybody need to go. You know what I mean? Like the team, they were 4-8. Like, you're not just 4-8 because of two coaches. You're just not. I think the defensive scheme they were running was way too complicated. I think it's disappointing that I feel like Charles Kelly, I think he kind of started to figure it out, but at some level, you have to coach to your team and not coach to your scheme. That was a bar. And I don't think they did that. And so I think that impacted them. But no, I don't think that they need to be fired. No successful program does that to their coaching staff. So let's let them be. They have to prove it. Just like I've said with everybody else, they've got to prove it. They win a bowl game, color exactly. Like you just show that progression. All we need is that progression. And that's it. Like you have to progress. And like we said before, like if you're not developing the talent and the talent isn't developed, if I had a child, I wouldn't want my child to go there either. But this year you show me you can develop some talent and like Coach Prime, Colorado, all of this, absolutely go there. Like go there. They have proof of concept. They're winning. All the attention's there. They're showing you gradual progress. They want to be better. Yeah, seems like development is not that was what I talked about earlier. It's like we need to make it a part of it. And so there's also like this weird thing where I can admit that I can also admit, because I don't want to have both sides of these arguments, right? Where I'm like, Coach Prime is doing things different and that's okay. But however, just because you're doing things differently doesn't mean you still don't have to develop talent. We have to develop talent, period. So that's my thing. Yeah, Jen J, if you weren't here before, go to my YouTube page and send me an email because I want to do it. You know this, but I want to do an all ladies panel where we can talk about our Colorado predictions, and how we're going to do this. So exactly. And that's what the video I keep saying. Now I'm getting hot. So the video that I keep saying is going to be the video that I know it's going to annoy people. My whole purpose of that video is because I think if we can make these three players better, and if we can get these three players and this coach to like step up and do and develop, I think we're going to do well. But a marking of a good team is development. And that's why I think if somebody asked earlier about Bentley, like if we could make Bentley like stand out and pop off the screen this year, are you kidding? Even somebody like a Demoy Kennedy, like imagine like if this year we're going into this year and nobody's talking about Demoy Kennedy. Nobody's even mentioning that man's name. But imagine this year, if like during spring ball, all of a sudden like Demoy Kennedy pops off the screen. That's amazing. We need that. Like that's why except for most of the time, I don't think there's any player that I've like came out and like called anybody trash per se. There's a couple people that I feel like they like aren't that great, but if you can make somebody better and even like, and they can improve, like just imagine. I think after the season, they're changing strategy a bit. That's the reason for it. It could be. I identify as a ladies. If Bentley can turn into what Nick Martin is from Oklahoma State, you see what I'm saying? And that's the thing. It's like if the guys that we have now, so I believe the longer I live on earth, I develop as a person and I become a better person and I get better and better and better and better. That's what I hope. Okay. I want that in my athletes. So I want to see everybody that I saw last year, I want to see them getting better. And some people have more room to get even better because they have a higher ceiling. So let's get there. Let's get there. Now I'm stuck on this Demoy Kennedy thing, but we all know Demoy Kennedy is fast. What if Demoy Kennedy makes a leap? What if he jumps off the screen? What if you're watching a well-off video one day and all of a sudden this guy just starts making tackles and you're like, who is that? You can't see. And it's like, you're like, that's Demoy Kennedy? Imagine that. Because that's the joy I get when I watch Texas play, is it's always like somebody that I'm like, oh, we forgot about him. He's killing it. I see improvement with one. I hope so. All around LB. Colorado, Buffalo's don't understand the 80-20 principle. He's looking for 20 facts. Jen J, my 80-20 in politics, I think it releases next week. I think it's next week. But yeah, I'm all for 80-20. I'm all for 80-20. And here's the truth. There's probably there's only one Travis Hunter, but on all of these teams, I feel like we all watch sports and we all see how teams are built and how they're structured. It's never just one guy. It's always the random guy. It's always when Michael Jordan won a championship, he threw the ball to Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr had to hit a shot. Steve Kerr had to play his role. When you're looking at the Warriors, you know what I mean? When you look at how teams have been built, think about teams that are good. It's the best players always play the best, but then it's like these other guys come in. These other guys do things. That's what I want for CU. I want these other guys. And I know a lot of times you go to these different channels and we're ready to say, this guy needs to go to the transfer portal. Send him in the transfer portal. Send him in the transfer portal. It's like, no. What if these guys can develop? What if they can be better? Do we want to send them to the transfer portal and go let somebody else make them better? No. What if they can be better on our team? That's always my thing. It's what if we can make them better? So that's how I feel. I need some chapstick. Okay. My lips are dry. So just give me a minute. Okay. What's up, Ginger? 140 tackles, 6 sacks. Goat, how does that compare? Do you, off the top of your head, do you know how that compares to Bentley? How many tackles Bentley had? I'm just curious, or Bentley's stats. I'm just curious to see how he compared to Bentley. He wants all the guys. Yeah, and that's it. Everybody. I don't want, that's not success. I don't want everybody to want to be the guy. I don't want everybody to want to be the person. I want us to want to win. Yes. I want all of us to want to win. I want us to want to do whatever it takes to win. Absolutely. You don't have to be the guy though. We need some leaders. We need some followers. We need hodgepodge. That's success. Success to me is everybody having a role. Sometimes your role isn't going to be the guy. That's fine. And then sometimes the guy might go down, and so somebody else has to step in and then be the guy. I can see that, but not all the time. It's that's not. It's like being in a relationship. Everybody in a relationship is not 100% all the time. It's somebody has to pick up that slack, and that's what I'm wanting. Is just a little bit of hodgepodge. Yeah, 69. That ain't it. And because Bentley, and I can remember some of the tackles Bentley missed, and then that's when Shiloh comes in and gets the tackles. So it's here we go. Everybody wants to be him, but games are what exactly. Exactly. And and like you don't get I don't know. I just like it goes back to like what's your goal? What is your goal? Is your goal to win or is your goal to be him? If your goal is to be him and not to win, quite frankly, I don't want you on the team. Like you're doing us a disservice. We need you to want to win football games. That's what we're here for. We're here to win football games. CP has the Bama motto, if one goes down, production don't. I think that's how it should be, Tate, if you were developing talent. That's my point. And that's why I don't like the revolving door and wanting us to just kick out guys and not giving them the year to develop. I like the motto is the right motto, but you have to develop those guys so that they can adhere to that motto. The freshman linebacker at Texas Tech had 100 plus tackles. Yeah, that's where we should be. Should be. Deion has to just understand majority of the kids are not blessed with his family genes. Patience is Deion's big downfall. They know they need to be coached. He expects us to give him 2 years. You know, I think that's an interesting point. I don't want to disagree with you because you absolutely could be right. Because a lot of people say when you are really good at something, the patience is the hardest part to coach for you. I will say that I want to give him another year or two to see if you're right, Mike, because I feel like in a year or two we'll be able to really assess if that is true or not. Is my computer charged? Is my computer charged? Yeah. Okay, cool. Oh, okay, it's on the charger. CU doesn't have an Alabama death. No, they don't. But I think the philosophy can stay. Because that's what you teach. You're teaching them the philosophy of if you go down, I need you to step in. Bentley had 69 tackles and 5 sacks. It's not bad. It's not bad, but we couldn't stop the run. And he was a part of the reason why we couldn't stop the run because he would get ran over. So Bentley needs to step it up. He is not going to be on my video, but he definitely needs to step it up. They want dogs, but doesn't want to raise and train the puppies. Yeah, you have to. And everybody's not going to be that. Some people develop into that. And if you develop talent right, it's kind of tricky though, because I feel like a lot of places don't really do a good job at developing talent because if I'm being honest with you, I think the talent in the NFL is kind of shot too. Like I don't see a lot of talent in the NFL, but I think that doesn't mean that you shy away from it. And now I'm like playing with my chapstick. Prime has patience though. He coached PV football. Well, I think I don't think that's what he's saying. I think he does. I don't think he's saying he doesn't have patience. I think that what he's saying is that this job is going to take him a little bit more patience than he had before. I think that was the point that Mike was trying to make, is that historically what he's done in the past might have worked, but this role is going to require just a little bit more than what he's given before. I could be wrong, but that's how I interpreted what he's saying. Another 2 years should tell us. I agree. Utah is good at development. Oklahoma State. No. I'm not saying there aren't teams that aren't good at it. I'm just saying there's a lot of teams that, or a lot of people that haven't had to develop talent. And so it's hard to do. I will say that that's going to be the key this year is how we develop talent. I wasn't saying you were saying that. I think we're on the same page, Goat. I could be wrong, but I think we're on the same page from what you said. Was just name some team. Right. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying. I think we're on the same page. But I was trying to, I kind of answered Mike's question and tied it in together. So it kind of sounded like a different topic, but it wasn't. And I agree with you. I think the reason why Texas was so good this year is because we developed talent from the previous year. A lot of, if you look at Texas Texas's team last year, and then compared them to this year, all of the guys that made plays except for Sanders, who came from Georgia on our offense, I think every single other guy was with Texas the year before. So they developed that talent. So yeah. Well, and I think the other thing is too is when I look at progress, sometimes progress doesn't necessarily happen on the field immediately because it's football and it almost like you have to develop and it's a process to putting it all together. And let's I think I said before, like maybe we won't see it all like in the spring or in the fall or maybe even in week one, like one or two. But it's like eventually things start to click, right? And like then eventually it's like, oh, we've got this figured out. It's kind of like offensive lines, right? Anybody that you can talk to that knows anything about an offensive line will tell you it's the last group to kind of come together because it's a whole group of five and everybody kind of has to work and move and do all the things together. And so it takes a minute. And so it looks a little bit like, oh, this looks a little clunky. It looks a little whatever. And then it's just like all of a sudden it just kind of works. It's similar with other positions. Like I'm just hoping that there's like people just get better. I mean, as a fan, I hope people get better. I don't think that's bad. I don't think it's bad. I want you to be better. I have this like, okay, so I'm going to say this, and I hope this doesn't derail us and get us off topic. But I've always been a person that like I can public speak, I can talk to anybody, like I don't care, whatever. But one time I got up and I public spoke, and my shirt was like unbuttoned. It was like a clasp shirt, and it started to like unbutton from the bottom to the top. Like I don't think I flashed anybody, but it like slowly started, and I could feel it while I was speaking, and I was trying to like, you know how like when you know something's happening, so you're like trying to cover from it. So like I was actively like trying to hide myself in my shirt as it's happening. So now, ever since then, I've had this fear of like my shirt's gonna come apart in public. So that's why I keep looking down because I'm like, if this shirt starts to unravel, like end. So anyway, so that's why I'm like, and even my posture has changed. Like before I was like standing up straight and I was all confident. Now I'm kind of like, oh God, if this starts to unravel, I will never live it down. Like somebody will clip this and be like, did you see where her shirt slowly started to come off? Like, just watch the video. So that's why I'm like paying close attention because yeah. And I don't know if you all know if have you ever had a shirt before and you pulled the string and then as soon as you pulled the string it just fell apart. So that's why I'm like very aware of like where my strings are and what's happening because I almost had that happen to me before where the whole thing came apart. So that is why I am very much like gotta be aware. Anyways, if you all don't have any other questions for me or any other comments, I'm going to end the live in 8 minutes or 7.5 minutes because I will have been on here for 2.5 hours. And every time I come on here, I cannot believe I've been on here for that long. I use this like manufactured lighting today. And I don't know if I like it. I use it sometimes in my videos and sometimes I don't. What do we think about the manufactured lighting? Can you tell? You can always tell if I'm using manufactured lighting because you will see my shadow. You'll only see my shadow in manufactured lighting. You won't see it if I use outside lighting. So nobody cares about that, but I'm just sharing. Oh, and then somebody else asked me, okay, cool. Somebody else asked me like, because I often say like, I have so many pictures of myself. I always take pictures of myself. If I even ever admitted to how many pictures of myself I had, you would like, that's a whole different conversation. But I'm also currently losing weight. And so as I'm losing weight, I take a ton of pictures of myself because I like to kind of see the trajectory on where I'm at. it's kind of funny because like I love my body type right now, but I'm like just slimming down so I can, be cute and sexy for the summer. Not saying I'm not cute and sexy, but you know what I mean? Like I'm really gonna like turn it up this summer. But so that's why I have a ton of pictures of myself. So anytime I do a live, I'm always going to use like a random photo. Some of them are old, some of them are new, because it's fun. I have so many photos of myself, so why not use them? Like, why not use them? So for those of you that have asked, like, where did this picture come from? Or I haven't seen you make a video in this hair or whatever, it's because I have tons of photos that need to be used. Okay. So that is my thing. Yeah, I love pictures. I have tons and tons and tons and files and this and that. It's my thing. I like angles and I like lighting. So yeah. That's also why this shadow annoys me, because I pride myself in like not having shadow in my pictures. Right now I have my whole shadow behind me. So it's kind of weird. But I know that this lighting, usually looks pretty good on camera. So that's why I have it over there. But I also can't look over there. So it's kind of weird. But I need my glasses. What else can we talk about in the next 5 minutes? I need to eat a banana, and then I need to get on my workout clothes, and then I need to go work out, and then I need to eat something after I work out. Does anybody on here work out? Does anybody on here eat a banana for their pre-workout? You in the background look great. Thank you. I appreciate you. Ooh. Best running back in the Big 12 besides Ollie Gordon. If I had to pick, I think I would pick, oh God, that's hard. So if I had to pick, I would probably pick Texas Tech's running back today. But my opinion might change because okay, here's why I'm struggling. I think when you have other threats, like if there's a threat of you being able to beat us passing the ball, it helps our running game because we can't exclusively game plan around the running game. So it makes it harder. But if I had to pick, I would say Texas Tech kind of changed my mind thing. That would be who I would go with. Need some options. What do you need options? Oh yeah, that would be my pick. I would say Texas Tech. I think what's interesting is something about Kansas, like I can't stop thinking about Kansas. And I don't know what that means. I don't know if they're not going to be as good as I think they're going to be. And so it's like nagging at me that I think they're going to be a good team. Or I don't know if it's because they're going to be good and my gut is actually telling me. I don't know why the light is randomly changing, by the way. It's like, yeah, that's weird. So yeah, I don't know, but something about Kansas I really like, but I don't know what that means. Yeah, like I don't know. I can't put it into words. I can't classify it. I don't know. Just something about Kansas. I'm like, I don't know. I wouldn't go against Kansas. I guess is the best I can think of right now. But like something about them just makes me take notice. Something about them makes me go, okay. All right. I'm paying attention. Kansas is probably the best coach in college football. You could say that. I won't argue that. Kansas has so many threats. Well, Kansas is the thing about. That was kind of extreme. I want to cross my arms. Do I have something else I can wear so I can cross my arms because it's comfortable for me? See, y'all have me on this freaking thing, and I said in 8 minutes I'm gonna whatever. I think my issue, yes, I think Kansas is, nobody talks about Kansas. And I said this in my video. This is always my issue with them. Nobody talks about them. But if you watch them, almost everything they do pops out to you. It's like they're not, maybe it's because like nothing they do is like fantastic. Like I probably would never say like go watch Kansas play defense or go watch Kansas offensive line. Like I would never point at like a thing that's like makes them phenomenal, but everything they do is good. And so because of that, it makes them like this weird team where I'm like, who are you? Like, why can't I let you go? And yeah, like Goat's putting all these things in here. It's like they just have all of these things, but nobody talks about them. So you're like, am I tripping? Like, am I seeing this team being a threat that's really not a threat? Like, why is nobody noticing this team right now? And their quarterback is good. So that's why it's hard for me with Kansas, because I'm like, nobody is saying anything about this team. Now I can cross my arms. Yay! No one is saying anything about this team. But like, God, they just they they just look good. That would be my first outfit change on my live. I'm eyeing Michigan State. That's a good one. Okay, I can see that. I can see that. And you know the thing about, and I think I like where you're going with that, because Michigan State's offensive line is pretty good. Interesting. I would be interested to see Michigan State's schedule next year, because again, like I think Texas got lucky, and I think their schedule in the SEC isn't as aggressive as it could have been, and I think that that's going to help them. But I wonder what Michigan's schedule looks like. Let me pull up Michigan's schedule. Where's my cell phone? Because you might be onto something. If they have like an easy schedule. Let me see. Michigan State football. All right, let's see. So they have, okay, it's scanning for devices. Okay, so they have Florida Atlantic, Maryland, Prairie View A&M, Boston College, Ohio State, not great, Oregon, Iowa, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Purdue, and Rutgers. That schedule's not a bad, that's not a bad schedule for them. Those South Dakota coaches have been good at this level. Facts, the SEC championship game will be really good. Let's hope Texas is in that SEC championship game. Yeah, if Texas is in the SEC championship game, I'm talking shit. I don't care. I'm talking mad shit. I don't care what anybody has to say. Yeah, that schedule's not bad at all. Florida Atlantic, I'm just going to repeat it. So Florida Atlantic, Maryland, Prairie View, Boston College. And then it gets tricky because they have Ohio State, Oregon, and Iowa. So, okay, Ohio State, Oregon, bye week, Iowa, Michigan. So they have like four like tough teams. And then it's Indiana, Illinois, Purdue, and Rutgers. So even if they split those hard teams, Ohio State, Oregon, Iowa, and go 2-2, they could potentially be 10-2, and that's a really good record in that division. You know what would be fun? And maybe we can do this on, I don't know, on one of my lives, I don't know, is to pick like our sleeper team from each. So like pick our Big 10 sleeper team, our Big 12 sleeper team, our SEC sleeper team. Is that all we have now? ACC sleeper team, and just see like what people are thinking. Yeah. So maybe that's what we'll do. So maybe maybe in my next live, maybe I don't know, maybe I can do this next week. But like we can just like have a conversation and just figure out like live, like what do we think? Like who are sleeper teams in these conferences? Because I don't really pay attention much to the ACC probably as much as some people do. And so I would love to just like do a deep dive, not like a deep dive, but just like an awareness check to see like who's in the ACC and like who do I think could make a run? Because most people just talk about like Florida State, Clemson, and Miami, which is fine. But like, what about like the North Carolinas? And because I know North Carolina has Mac Brown. But like, what about these other teams? Like, what about the Dukes? Because I know Duke now has Malik Jefferson, who I think should be good. So I don't know. It'll be interesting just to like deep dive into other conferences and see what they have. Because I wouldn't have thought about Michigan State until somebody else just mentioned it. But also with spring ball coming up, you will be able to see some of these teams, like you'll get to see them in practice. And I like that because I compare. So if you ever want to, ain't no other team, it's just law. It's like something about you is like, you must have me playing in the background and you're like, she's going to say something and I'm coming in hot. Whenever she says it, I'm coming in. I'm ready to go because I know she's going to say something. That is so funny. You just randomly pop. What is up with my butt? Oh, I'm just a mess. So I don't know, Law. Like, what if there's somebody else? Like, we're talking about sleeper teams. So I don't think if Miami does well this year, I don't think they're a sleeper team. I think a sleeper team is going to be somebody that's not Miami, not Florida State. It would be like Clemson deciding to like make a run or something like that. Hey Webb, how are you, sir? It's Kane's. I mean, I do think it's Miami's to lose. I do agree with that. It's okay. You can watch the playback. And I'm not talking about anything. I'm just in here talking. I ain't talking about nothing. I'm talking about a bunch of nothing. I think it's Miami's conference to lose. However, who do we think is going to challenge them? Anybody? Like, okay, I'm not a Miami fan, so Law or Webb, who are you worried about in the ACC this year? Is there anybody in the ACC that you're worried about? Because we're all there. Well, if you're a realistic fan, which I believe both of you to be, who do you look at and you say, oh crap, I'm worried about that team? Is there any team that you can think about that you're worried about? Florida State? Mario Cristobal. Okay. I've got some bros that play. Okay. So see, that's what I'm saying. It's like I tell them they suck all the time. But that's what I'm saying. Okay, so you're not worried about a team. You're worried about your coach's ability to do what he needs to do to win games. And so if that's the case, then who, like, that's what I'm saying. So then so let's say like we go through and we're like, I don't know, Duke, or North Carolina was a team. Who did y'all lose to last year that was stupid? Was it Boston College? That was stupid. We don't even need to talk about that. But I think whenever you don't trust your coaches, they always find a way to lose. And that's why you don't trust them, because you're like, win, idiot. Win. Your job is to win. So win. I tell them they suck all the time. I got some bros that play. Because the other thing is, too, does Florida State have our schedule is weak? Well, let's pull up that schedule. Let's see. Miami football schedule. Let's see who y'all got. Wait, is this right? What, is this right? Do y'all not have have they not said y'all's actual schedule though? Because on here it doesn't have any. Okay, it does have dates. Sorry, I was looking wrong. Okay, so you all have Florida, Florida A&M, Ball State, USF, Virginia Tech, Cal, Louisville, Florida State, Duke, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, Syracuse. Is that right? Yeah. This is interesting. Okay, so y'all have Florida, Florida A&M, Ball State, USF, Virginia Tech, Cal, Louisville, Florida State, Duke, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, Syracuse. Can you imagine if y'all lost to Syracuse? Oh, that would be terrible. How is Louisville recruited this offseason? I haven't seen them. Because Syracuse has a whole new thing. So you would like to think though that Miami's like offensive line, running back room, linebackers, like you would like to think that Miami would hold against Syracuse, but the terrible L would be Duke. Oof. Yeah, like what is Miami's tendencies? Like who do they usually choke against? Because these past few years they just haven't done what they're supposed to do. I think Louisville might be my sleeper team without knowing anything, or Syracuse, like something wild. We got the best QB, CU Logic. Okay. Or is that what we're doing? Did you come in here to raise hell? We're not going to do that, sir. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not being petty. So I do know Miami who does Miami historically lose to? I just don't know like the history of what the F their problem is. Like who do they usually lose to? Because that Louisville game is in Louisville. It is coming off of a bye week though, so that's helpful. FSU 10-2 is what I want and need. But you're saying they're going, oh, okay, because if they are 10-2 and they win the ACC, then they get the bye. So that's what you're banking on. And that's fair. Well, who knows? I need to do some research. I don't know. If Maalik Murphy raised his game from what he did at UT, Duke will be good. I agree. And the thing about Maalik Murphy is he has an arm. He's just not accurate. Like if he can figure that out, it'll be interesting. For the longest time, Law wanted Malik. He used to always say, yeah. Law used to always say, like, oh, we'll take Murphy. Is he getting into the portal? We'll take him. I'm like, if you don't leave that man where he's at, let him be a backup. That's so funny. Anyways, it's getting dark. Why am I on here? It's getting dark. I gotta go. I appreciate all of you. If you haven't already liked this video, I think we'll do a sleeper pick next time when we come on. I think that will be fun because it will be right before spring ball, so that will be super fun. I'm also going to get my hair braided soon, so hopefully, like, I don't look a mess. I'm always going to look a mess. I can't apologize for that. But if there's anything else that you all want me to talk about when I'm live, let me know. I try not to plan these though, because I kind of like the flow of not planning. And I plan everything in life, so it's nice to not plan. But ladies, don't forget to reach out to me. Go to my channel, click email, send me an email. Let's connect. I have an idea. I think it'll be fun. We can piss everybody off with our thoughts and our opinions, and and everybody can tell us that we don't know anything about sports, like they tell me in my videos. Anyways, I might see you all later on somebody else's chat panel or something or anyway, but I appreciate all of you for listening to me blab. I would like to report that my shirt has not dissolved. It's still present, but this will be the last time you'll seeing this level. Well, it won't be the last time because I have some videos with this shirt. But anyways, if you need anything from me, you'll see me at some point. Have a good Friday. Bye.